Hey, what's up, basketball world? You know what it is. I love this game, this sport called basketball, because it never stops. But anyways, people like to talk about rings, championship rings that bling on your finger. It's all about the rings. Yes, every season, every year, the ultimate goal is to win a championship. Got it. Because you have more rings than the next guy does not make you a better basketball player than the next guy. That doesn't automatically mean that. But yes, keep in mind that the team goal, team concept every single year is to win a championship. Got it. No one's arguing that call. No one should argue that call. Because every team sport is all about the ring as a team. And that's the coach's job. That's the coach's ultimate goals are. If it's not, I don't know what his goals are. But championship-minded coaches, great coaches, they want to win. Just saying. So I keep hearing this. There's always 3, maybe sometimes 4 players that I keep hearing over and over and over and over again. It's like, it always becomes annoying, but I'm used to it, so it doesn't bother me as much. You know the names already. Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Michael Jordan. Sometimes they throw Magic Johnson in there too. So I just go, okay, well, that's fine. Here's the thing. I understand what Michael Jordan said about when he was getting interviewed and they asked him who he preferred, Kobe Bryant or LeBron James. I understand exactly what he's saying. He basically did not answer the question in 2013 All-Star break in Houston, Texas. It's hard to say because 5 beats 2 every time I look at it. He's basically saying that even though I didn't directly say his name, I'm going to say the other guy anyway because that other guy got 5 rings and it's hard to ignore that. And the other person only has 2 rings. So when I see it, well, 5 beats 1. Well, I'm just updating it because he has 2 instead of 1. 5 beats 1, 5 beats 2, any day of the week. Every time I look at it, every time, 5 is greater than 2. Yes, Michael Jordan is right. 5 is greater than 2, greater than 1. Hell, greater than 3, if he gets 3. But that doesn't mean that the person with more rings is a better basketball player than the next guy. And somebody was telling me, well, why don't you be specific and elaborate why you think that's not the case? I'll go, okay. And he was like, you're a smart guy, so let me hear you out, youngster. So, oh, excuse me. Alright. The ability to play point guard, the ability to play shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center, and the ability to defend those 5 positions and to defend them very well, that means you're a versatile player. You're all around. And you're not just locked in at the small forward spot. I'm talking about the guy who left South Beach and went back home. So I'm going, if he could play point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center at 6'8", 250, that's just a lot. Very athletic, very skilled, very high IQ basketball person, and he plays like it. Ain't they talking outside your neck, but he actually plays like it, and he backs up what I'm saying right now. As opposed to another person, he's not that much versatile, despite the fact he only has 5 rings, and he's still not versatile like the next guy is who only has 2. And I go, for you to impact the game in terms of other ways than scoring points, because it is more to the game of basketball than just scoring points. You have assists, rebounds, blocks, steals, efficiency, getting your teammates involved and setting teammates up, doing this, doing that, leadership. It's like, wow, he has all these assets. And what another people fail to realize is this. It don't matter how good you are as a superstar, one man can get you there to the promised land, but one man cannot win a title for you. Allen Iverson, 2001 NBA Finals. Yes, he led the Philadelphia 76ers to get to the finals. However, he didn't come away with a blink. He's just like me, ringless. He walked away ringless that year. Ringless for his whole career. One man can get you there. One man can't win it for you. 2007, Cleveland versus San Antonio. San Antonio swept Cleveland. It was just one man. And you think Greg Popovich, one of the best coaches in the game, is going to let one man beat his team? No. Yes, that one man torched the Detroit Pistons back in 2007 East Finals. That's great. One problem. The ultimate goal is to walk away with that ring, right? One man can get you there. One man can't win it all for you. Michael Jordan needed a team. Michael Jordan needed help too. That's why he has 6 titles. No Pippen. How many rings does he have? Without Pippen, he couldn't get past the first round. He needed Pippen. Pippen needed him. And they needed a team around them too. Some people like say, oh, that's an excuse. Oh, that's weak. No. If you know basketball, you wouldn't say that's an excuse. That's a fact. You do need a championship team around your superstar. And my number one thing is I always use Chris Paul as an example too. Why did Chris Paul leave New Orleans? Because of the money? New Orleans Hornets, they're now Pelicans, but New Orleans Hornets could have gave Chris Paul that money that the LA Clippers gave him. So it ain't about the money. When big time superstars or franchise caliber type superstars leave and go somewhere else, they're going somewhere else because of one main thing. I'm not winning. And the franchise I'm with is not helping me have players around me so I can have a chance to win a championship. No, that's not accurate either. No. Why LeBron James take his talents to South Beach? I know why. Because when he said at the Boys and Girls Challenge Club at the Decision show that lasted an hour in Connecticut, he basically said, I want to go there so I can have a chance to win championships. Oh my God. So you do need a team to help you win a championship. Yes, you do. But because you have more rings doesn't mean you're a better player. I had a conversation with someone, and this person considered LeBron James as a power forward with small forward and guard skills. But he said to me, he's a power forward with perimeter skills. I go, okay. See, me, I'm just going along with what the other person's saying to me. So I just go, all right, cool. That's how you feel, that's how you feel. Because he can't play power forward. That's why I consider him a power forward in a small forward position that can play point guard too. Got it. I said, what do you classify as Tim Duncan? He said, I classify Tim Duncan as a power forward, even though they have him power forward / center, but I consider him power forward first. Okay, so you consider LeBron James power forward? Yes. You consider Tim Duncan power forward? Yes. I'm going along with it. I'm going along with it. Okay, so you got these two guys as power forwards. Got it. Tim Duncan has, back then, Tim Duncan has 4 rings. LeBron has 1. But now it's 5 and 2. I said, Tim Duncan has 4, LeBron has 1. You've seen they both play basketball, right? So is Tim Duncan a better player than LeBron James because he has more rings than him? When I asked that question, he had to think about that question being asked of him. Is Tim Duncan the better basketball player overall than LeBron James is, even though Tim Duncan had 4 rings and LeBron had 1? It took him a little while to answer that question. And I went, before you answer that question, you seen these two guys play and the way they impact the game, the way they show their skills, the way they're versatile in their own ways, on both ends of the floor. You know who the better player is. and he was gonna fix his lips and say the wrong thing. So I kind of interrupted him a little bit and said, before you say anything, if you dare say Tim Duncan is a better overall basketball player than LeBron James, this conversation is over. He went, I wasn't gonna say Tim Duncan. I went, oh really? Then who the better basketball player is? Despite the fact that Tim Duncan has more rings than LeBron. He said LeBron James is a better overall basketball player because he could play all positions on the floor. He could defend all positions on the floor. Tim Duncan can't play point guard, shooting guard, small forward. He's a post player. He can't play perimeter. I never seen him play perimeter. I go, oh, okay. Oh, really? So I guess having more rings means what? He's with the Spurs his whole career. The Spurs always had a championship caliber team, but they didn't always win a championship because as of now, he only walked away with 5, but he's been in the league nearly 20 years. I go, oh, so he always had the better group. He always had the better team group of players than LeBron did while he was at Cleveland. Yeah, but even then, LeBron James was still a better basketball player. He didn't have the better team than Tim Duncan. I go, oh, I'm basically being sarcastic. He said the right things because winning championships is a team concept, not individual. So for Michael Jordan to say, it's hard to say because 5 beats 1 every time you look at it, he's heavily biased because of rings. I like Mike. I like Kobe. I like LeBron. I like Magic. But the problem is you can't dictate somebody's basketball game and skills based upon rings and rings only. Because when Luke Walton had 2 rings and LeBron James had 0, you're not going to sit here and say Luke Walton's better than LeBron James because of rings. And I like to say, well, Robert Horry has 7. So 7's better than 6, right? Robert Horry never lost the finals either. He's 7 of 7. Michael's 6 of 6. 7's better than 6, right? Hey, but you can't use Robert Horry as an example. I go, I know. I'm just throwing it out there because Robert Horry in debates like this will always be thrown at you. And Bill Russell. Bill Russell has 11 rings. And he was a superstar then, during his days. So, Robert Horry was a role player. Okay, I won't compare a role player to a superstar because it's obviously lopsided. But I will compare superstar to superstar. Bill Russell was a superstar then, and so was Jordan. It was different eras. Okay, but he still got 11 of them, though. Okay, what about Magic? Magic was in the same era as Michael. He has 5. I understand 5 is less than 6, only by 1. But the whole thing is that you can't just say, I have more rings than you, therefore I'm better than you. No. What about the guys in the Hall of Fame who don't have rings? Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, John Stockton, Karl Malone, Chris Webber might be in there too. They don't have rings, but they're in the Hall of Fame. How is that? You gotta think about it. But yes, LeBron James has been the league's best player for a few years now. Probably ever since he won his first league's MVP award back in 2009. Here we are in 2015 in the month of May. And wow, what a run for him. 4 MVPs in 5 years says a lot. And he's accomplishing stuff as he goes along. And a lot of fans who are with their heart catering stuff will argue from the heart to the fullest, saying that why I think this player is better than this, that, la 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 la. It's like, well, rings, we do know rings are won in a team concept, not individual. Like I said before in this video earlier, one man can get you there. Iverson did it, LeBron did it, 01, 07, but they cannot win it for you. Because at the end of the day, you're going to need your supporting cast to help you. And when you run across that other team that's in the championship with you, they're going to have pieces around. And it's just one of you versus 7, 8 of them, you're going to lose. And it basically means you have to do everything for your team. And it's going to be hard because as soon as you make a move, here come a double team. Here come a triple team. They're going to make you use your teammates to beat them. And if it's unsuccessful, guess what? You're not going to walk away with a championship. The other team is, not you. Which isn't right. It's make you stuck being with just you and a bunch of scrubs in your team. That's hard to deal with. If you know what it feels like, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. You got to rebound for the team, score for the team, assist for the team, get all those balls for the team, make key stops for the team, cover somebody, cover your own end too. As you helping somebody, and while you helping somebody, you got to cover your own butt. Then you got to get that rebound. You got to do this. You got to push the ball. You got to have the ball in your hands most of the time. You got to be on point at all times just for you to be successful and win for your team. And when you do all those things, here, there, do this, do that, because you have other players who are just mediocre. That shows how much more versatile and all-rounded that you are. Now imagine if you had a group of guys around you that can help you win, and you're doing these things too at the same time. That really shows how much of a great player you are, as opposed to just being just good. And that's the difference between LeBron James and a lot of other guys throughout the league, is that he's able to do these things. And it's like, wow. But yeah, so because you have more rings than somebody doesn't mean that you are automatically by default the better player than somebody. Like I told you before, that one guy was like, LeBron James is a better basketball player than Tim Duncan because he does more things and he's able to do more stuff than Tim Duncan can. Tim Duncan just a pure power forward post player. LeBron could play all 5 positions and defend them. Duncan can't. And that right there says that he's more versatile, which means that you're the better player because you can do these things and you can dominate the game in multiple ways. Yes, like he said before to me back in 2013, that even though he has more rings than him, that doesn't mean you're the better player. And yes, Michael Jordan, during that time when he was interviewed between who's the better player of Kobe Bryant and LeBron James, he was basically being biased based upon rings. Everybody's biased. I don't care who you are, what you do, what you say. Bias is a personal preference of what you prefer and how you see things over something else. If you're heavily biased, that means you just one side. You just see things one way and you're heavily strong on it. That's heavily biased. It's like, wow, ooh-wee. He's one side. He don't see nothing else. This is what I see, and this is what I'm sticking to. I don't care about all the other stuff around me. Yeah, you're heavily biased. But everybody's biased in their own way. I don't care who you are. I had an English teacher back in college. He once told me, everyone's biased. If they tell you they're not biased, one of two things. One, they're lying to you, or two, they don't know what the meaning of bias is. I went, yeah, it is a personal preference. Everybody has a personal preference. Everybody has a view of how they see things and how they think way things should be. Yeah, you're biased, but if you're heavily biased, that's something else. But yeah, he was biased basically because 5 beats 1 every time he looks at it. He didn't say, oh, he has this kind of skill, this capabilities, or he's like this, or he didn't look at the whole picture. He just looked at one thing and said 5 beats 1 every time I look at it. And then LeBron said the same thing that I've always said about rings. He mentioned Robert Horry too. Robert Horry has 7. I'm not going to sit there and say Robert Horry is better than Michael Jordan. Anybody in the world would be a fool if you say Robert Horry is a better basketball player than Michael Jordan, even though Robert Horry has 7 and Jordan has 6. You're just not going to say that. If you know real basketball, you're not going to say that. You dead wrong if you say that. It's like, oh, wow, just slap yourself. Literally. But hard. But yeah, so because you have more rings than the other guy doesn't automatically mean you're better than that person. Now let's say this. Y'all both have championship teams. But you can't lead your team to rings, but the other person can. Then it'll be fair to say that person's better than this one over here because they both got the same championship caliber type teams. They both have great supporting cast. this one can't carry that team over the hump, but this one can and win the championship. That one's better than this one. That's different if you look at it from that angle. But otherwise, normally speaking, an individual's skill, capabilities, game, the ability to perform on a court and dominate the game in multiple ways, you can use that as a tool of this is what this person can do. Now, what the other person can do on the floor that he cannot do, what makes him different? For me to say who's better than who, regardless of rings. Rings is team concept, not individual. Like I said, one man can get you there, but one man can't win it for you. It's been proven. It's never been proven that one man can do it all and come up with the ring. Gotta have a team. Last thing before I cut this video off. One of two things is going to happen if you are a superstar like that. One, you're going to build a championship team around me so I can win championships. Or two, if you fail, like what Cleveland did, LeBron's first 7 years there, I'm going to do Chris Brown and chuck up the deuces, and I'm going to take my talents to South Beach where I can go somewhere and have a possibility to win championships. He did walk away with 2 titles, so he did complete his goal of winning a championship. He won 2 championships. Yeah, so in 2007, Kobe Bryant was on ESPN radio or ESPN phone talking about he wanted to be traded. It was telling that to Stephen A. Smith because he wasn't winning in LA. When Shaq and them left, he was there with a bunch of scrubs too, and he was losing. So, can't just judge somebody based upon rings. Judge them based upon what they can do on the floor. Team concept, rings. That's the goal as a team. It takes a team to win a championship. And then your best player or your most valuable player is just outshining everybody along with his strong supporting cast to help him win the title and bring that title home. That's all I have to say in regards of what makes another person better than who, this, that, and the third, and along with rings and the concepts of it and stuff like that. I'd like to know what y'all think of this video. So feel free to comment and I'll check you guys out. Thank you for your time.